Hey everyone, Powerstars here with another First Impressions video. Today, I'm talking about Coldplay's new album, A Head Full of Dreams. Why did I listen to the new Coldplay album, you ask? Well, let's put it this way. I'm in a journalism class, right? And I got assigned to do reviews, so I left a couple albums from my editor that I might have been interested in reviewing, and I left Coldplay's new album because I think the only two Coldplay songs I've heard before this are like Shiver and Viva La Vida, and I like those songs. And most of the bands I'm into haven't put stuff out recently enough to review, so yeah, we decided I was going to review the Coldplay album, and I was expecting it to be on Spotify when it came out. And then it wasn't. Couldn't find it on YouTube either. So after a bunch of unneeded stress of tracking it down, I finally listened to it, and what was I greeted with? Well, honestly, it wasn't great. It was pretty boring. It was kind of pandery too, which I was surprised about, because Shiver and Viva La Vida are great songs, but most of this album just seems like it's chasing popular trends in music now. A lot of the songs have like sort of a funk vibe to them, which normally I'd be all over, and some of them do it well. Like the lead single Adventure of a Lifetime is actually pretty good with this, but they're going for like the 70s disco vibe, which a lot of the time it just feels like they're trying to recreate the success of like Uptown Funk or Get Lucky, and I really don't like that. The whole album is electro, a lot more than I expected from Coldplay initially. Like I said, I'm not too into Coldplay, so I don't know what their other albums sound like, but it's pretty boring. Speaking of being pandery, a lot of the songs on this album, they don't feel like there's that much effort put into them. They just feel like they're sort of half-hearted attempts to appeal to the pop crowd. For example, Hymn for the Weekend, it has Beyonce singing the chorus, bridge, and some of a verse, and it just sticks out so far from the rest of the album. It sounds more like R&B or pop than electro or funk, and it seems like it was tailor-made to be a single. It sounds more like Maroon 5 than Coldplay. And then we have the track Amazing Day, which basically just feels like a poppier retread of their earlier single Shiver, but with less energy and more drum machines. It's not to say this album's completely devoid of substance. The track Birds does the funk thing pretty well. Doesn't feel too pandery. It's one of the more original songs on the album. And then Everglow is a nice, anthematic little ballad. And the track Fun, that's a really good pop song. Like, that should be a single. It has a Swedish vocalist named Tove Lo who's doing harmonies, and it's just this really nice, fun song. I mean, which makes sense because it's called Fun. Stands to reason it would be fun. Anyways, yeah, most of it though is pretty bad. And then there's a track called Kaleidoscope, which is this bizarre transitional thing, which is literally just a man reading a poem called The Guest House over a sparse piano track. Oh, and towards the end, it just randomly has a sample of Barack Obama singing Amazing Grace. Why? It got them publicity, so maybe that was the intention. I heard about it on social media before it came out. Yeah, it's pretty lazy filler, and unfortunately it's not the only lazy filler track on this album. Army of One is like that. Color Spectrum's another transitional track. It's not a great album. If you want more fun, good pop albums with like a similar vibe to this one, they're older albums. I think they both came out in 2009. Day and Age by The Killers has a bit of a similar electro vibe to this, and it has a funk song on it that's a total disco throwback. But it has much more emotion, and it feels a lot more genuine and less trend chasing. And if you want something a little more on the rock side, but still with that electro edge, check out Muse's The Resistance. It's a little proggy in places and less poppy, but tracks like The Resistance and Undisclosed Desires are amazing pop songs that are sort of like what this album's trying to go for, except better. Unfortunately though, I can't recommend this album except for the track Fun, which as I mentioned is an amazing pop song, and maybe Adventure of the Lifetime, which is a decent lead single. But overall it's a really bland, contrived sort of album that they withheld from Spotify. Yeah, I'm still mad about that. This has been Powerstars with another First Impressions video. Peace, YouTube.